Hi guys, and welcome to my new channel. I'm going to be posting some videos while everybody is stuck at home for the shelter and for coronavirus right now. So hopefully I can help you get your horsey fixed if you're needing it. This video is of my first couple of rides on Ellie. I bought her about 6 weeks ago and I bought her off of a video, so I didn't ride her before I bought her. This is the first time I ever got on her, so this is just us walking around. And I'll just do a little bit of a voiceover. I will say that I didn't ride her then the way that I ride her now, more just because I was getting used to her and just trying to kind of get a sense for what she was like and how she goes normally if I'm not trying to ask her to do too much. She was basically out in a field all winter, so you can see she's pretty shaggy. And she's pretty out of shape, so I didn't do a whole lot of work with her. And before I ever rode her, I made sure she got her feet done because her feet were quite long. And I spent a couple of days lunging her just to make sure she was going to be good. This is the first trot that I ever had on her. She has quite a big step and she feels a little bit faster than she is. You're going to see in this video that naturally, if you don't balance her out and help her relax, she carries her head quite high and is pretty tense. She's a little bit amped up as far as horses go. She's very athletic and she's always ready for anything, but that means she has a little bit of trouble relaxing. So that's what we've been working on, and you'll see if you keep watching in future videos, you'll see that she has relaxed a lot from where she was when I first started riding her, like here. And you'll see from her expression, like you can tell what she's thinking and feeling by looking at her ears. When they're pinned forward like they are in most of this video, she's being very alert and attentive, and she's looking around and thinking about things around her. She's not really paying attention to me or settling into the exercise. She's more focused on her surroundings and everything like that, which is fair because this was the first time she was in a new place. And there again, you can see that her head is quite high. As she lowers her head right there, and she'll do it again later, her trot starts to feel a little bit more comfortable and a little bit less bouncy. When horses go with their heads up, it tends to hollow their back out under your seat, and it can make their stride feel much choppier and less comfortable. And so that's what's happening for a lot of this video. And then those moments where she is willing to put her head down, her back is also lifting and she's reaching her hind legs under her a little bit further. And that makes her trot inherently more comfortable. And that's just the start of her starting to relax. So I'm encouraging a lot of that head lowering and trying to be as soft with my hand as I can. She does not have great downward transitions. This, I think, is the third time that I ever rode her, and I'm still just trying to get a feel for what she's like, not asking her to do too much. I have a little more contact with her this ride than the last ride, but just, again, trying to get a feel for what's going to work for her to help her relax and lower her head a little bit. I do a little bit of a better job in this video of keeping my hands up a little bit higher. When your horse goes with their head up, you want to keep a straight line from your elbow through to your horse's mouth no matter what. But when your horse has a high head, that means you have to lift your hands a little bit higher than normal to keep the bit up in the corners of their mouth and not pulling down on the sensitive bars of their mouth. So right there, you can see how my hands are well above her withers, just trying to keep a little bit more of a straight line. So I'm keeping the bit in the right spot in her mouth. It looks like I have a lot of pressure, but I actually ride her with a really, really light hand. She just is very sensitive as far as horses go. She's a pretty sensitive horse, but this bit is also very gentle. So I started her in a D-ring French link snaffle. So there's no nutcracker action from a single joint. It's a double jointed bit. Very gentle, very soft. I've since switched her to an elevator, which I'll show in a different video, but in these videos, she is going in a D-ring French link. And you can see she still wants to go with her head pretty high. And if you look at the bottom side of her neck, you can see how there's kind of a bulge. It's a little bit of a convex kind of shape to her underside of her neck. That's called an underline. And that's where the muscles underneath their neck become overdeveloped from their head being too high up too often. So that's another one of the reasons we really just want her to lower her head and stretch out a little bit further so that her underline becomes a little less developed, and her top line, which is the muscles on the top of her neck from her poll all the way through her back, stretch out and grow stronger. So there she's starting to lower her head and relax a little bit, which is nice. I lift my hands there just a touch because I didn't want, she was getting a little bit heavy. I didn't want her to be quite so heavy there. Here I ask her for canter, and it takes her a little while to make that transition, and then you can see her canter is pretty strung out. So she's got quite a big step going, and she's not really tracking too far under herself with her hind end. And again, she goes with her head up and her back hollowed out. So you can see the canter looks a little bit uncomfortable if you watch the way that I'm kind of moving and sitting on her. There she trips a little bit. She wasn't super balanced when I started riding her. And again, she was really weak from sitting out in a field.